Hey everybody, as Brent Musburger once said when he was running the NFL Today, you are looking live at sold out Zennie62 Media Stadium. Well, you can take the stadium off and say Zennie62 Media Studio, featuring my good friend Teka Thomas, who's in Washington, D.C., and we're just catching up. Tika started a firm called Vrypac, and he's still the founder and CEO of Vrypac, and he's got some updates for us. So, and then we're going to talk about some Zennie62 Media stuff. But hey, first of all, thanks for doing this.
Absolutely. And by the way, the Zennie62 studio, when you said sold out, it means the paying crowd here. It doesn't mean
right.
you went against your principles. You are always authentic.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate that. Absolutely. Hey man, what's going on with Vrypac?
All right. It's been moving a lot where the parkour community, you know what parkour is, right? Like American Ninja Warrior kind of, or you see like at the beginning of a James Bond movie, people leaping from building to building. So that's a sport. There's sort of a tug of war with the Gymnastics Federation trying to take it over. But yeah, it's an official sport. So we are an official supporter. I can't say sponsor, but a supporter of the U.S. Parkour regional and national championships this spring.
Wow.
So excited about that. I was at a local gym here in the DC area a few weeks ago. They're having a competition. So I don't know when we last spoke all those years ago, I had already had the expandable version. But so basically Vrypac is just a very, very thin, I'll call it a backpack, but we'll discuss that in a moment. Very thin backpack. This one here is expandable.
Go ahead.
That's the paying audience cheering, right? Yeah, this one here.
That's YouTube's new AI screwing up, is what it is. What I was doing was taking the video and putting it out for a distribution. And normally, if I click continue to YouTube, it doesn't start the video right up because I didn't have it set to do that. But now it's got a mind of its own. See, and so then it starts talking, and it won't stop. Now it just stopped talking. So, lesson learned. I'll give it the thumbs up and put it out to. And arguably, I should have done this before, but whatever. Now,
you want to start again?
No.
Okay.
Fine. I'm
fine. So this comes again popular in the parkour community and other things. So comes in black or pink. Found on Amazon. Vrypac. So basically, yeah, the basic philosophy is that most quote backpacks are for basically carry capacity. So I need to fit my books and laptop and all that stuff. This was designed. The Vrypac is designed around movement. It's designed around the human body for movement. And, it just so happens that it's going to fit everything you got in your pockets and then centralize it on your back in a way that's ergonomically efficient, centers the balance, doesn't really throw off your center of gravity. So, we're going to get into the future of AI searching. 95% of consumers who are looking for a backpack want something more. They want to carry books or more stuff, laptop, that kind of stuff. I sort of, I kind of chop things down along three lines. I call it AAA, athletic, aesthetic, and aesthetic. So, it's athletic. It's designed for running, cycling, skiing, kayaking. I've done all those things, hiking, rock scrambling. I've done all those things, and it works really well for that. So the second A is aesthetic. It's minimalism. When you're going with just the minimal stuff, most people who run for 5 miles don't bring water. You can do that in about an hour or something. Although if you want, I have fit a 12-ounce bottle in this thing, but it's not really designed for water. So athletic with minimalism, and then the last A is aesthetic. So for example, running vests. Running vests solve those first two problems at, usually about 2 or 3 times my price point. But the industry actually classifies them as equipment, not as an accessory. So as my female friends tell me, they'll wear a Vrypac to the farmer's market. They'll wear it to an outdoor music festival. They'll wear it to outdoor yoga, where they it's probably not, a running vest probably isn't what you're going to wear to that. You don't want to, show up to yoga looking like a SWAT officer, right? So, it basically it's functional for athletics and it looks good. So the other update since we last spoke was that I actually been awarded a patent on this. It's called the Vrypeek, Vrypeek. It's not really for sale right now, but I'm trying to license it. So essentially, just the real quick and dirty. You put your phone in here. It can be upright, so you can have your camera or your flashlight. If you're in the dark, you can talk by speakerphone, or you can lean forward, read or type, and then according to the patent office, it's the first thing that can lean forward and detach, and it's tethered, so you're not going to drop it. You're not going to drop your phone.
Not bad.
Yeah. So I showed it to the National Guard's people here in DC. They generally like it. I showed it to lots of delivery drivers. They like it. You can hold your box ergonomically. You're not going to drop your phone. You pay for yourself. The general idea is, you should be able to use your phone without stopping what you're doing. And the idea actually came from ski lifts. When I want to be able to read a trail map when I'm on a chairlift, I got my gloves. Trail maps are on your phone now. And you don't want to drop my gloves. Certainly don't want to drop my phone. And so how do you handle it? So that's kind of the idea of it. And essentially, anyone who recreates outside or works outside should like it. The patent claims, there's lots of ways to put it. MOLLE, MOLLE, like the military uses it. You can literally build it into clothing or build it into bigger gear. The people think of, for those situations when the phone isn't cargo, it's an actual extension of your body. Think of it like a hand coming out of your chest. The Vrypeek bridges the gap between movement and then connectivity.
You should hold it up, by the way. Make sure people, because
thank you.
Yeah, people are just tuning in. That's it, folks. For those of you just watching now, welcome. That's it.
It put your phone in, and then there's a little front part with the dimensions of a passport and some credit card slots in there.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that, Zennie. So so it's a proof that digital design still matters I should say physical design still matters in the digital age.
Hold it next to your face. There you go. Keep talking. Yeah.
That how you design something.
Instead of looking at me, look at this part right here. Look at the lens. Right. Look at the lens. Yeah, because people can see your eyes that way.
Okay.
Yeah. Because then you're actually talking to them. See. Yeah.
Thank you. I always need the media training too, Zennie. And I know that's one of your many fortes that we're going to get into. So yeah, it ironically, even though it's designed for outdoor use, in action, whether you're a soldier, a construction worker, hiker, cyclist, whatever. Ironically, I was told early on the people with the most utility for it are actually either adaptive athletes or people with disabilities, because it's like, if you're going to sit in a nursing home all day, for 12 hours a day, your family is going to want immediate access to you all the time, right? So it's one of those like the toothbrush test. One of those Google guys says the toothbrush test. What is something small that you use that everybody uses every day? Mm-hmm. So that's the adaptive market is something I'm actually looking forward to. So it has really good operational significance to that community. Yeah. So it all, again, everything comes with Vrypac. The whole concept of the brand comes back to movement, holding your stuff while you're moving. So, and it's actually been, I've done some little AI searches, and believe it or not, even without the professional help of Zennie Abraham, even it's actually shown up in some AI overviews Vrypac has.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, and the more than anyone, the importance of how someone shows up in AI overviews now is crucial to reputation management.
Yeah. AI. Well, first of all, for those of you who don't know, what Zennie62Media does is we cover events. We've covered the NFL draft for the past 20 years. I'm very angry with Visa PR right now, and I'm going to make a video about that. But that's another story. And we've covered San Diego Comic-Con since 2010, CES Las Vegas since 2010. We're on the White House press list, and I have to say that the White House press office under President Trump is actually better than the National Football League's press office per se. I just have to call it out as that. The Trump administration gets a big slam. But we've done all that for years. But we discovered a long time ago, really what I discovered as founder, is that people didn't like when someone else was writing something about them that on the internet that wasn't true or was harsh. That goes all the way back to my first client on this in 2006. I'll leave his name out of it. And then in 2009, Bauer Limousine approached and said, hey, can you help us counter these Yelp reviews? And what I realized was that the real problem wasn't so much the Yelp reviews, but the fact that Yelp showed up #1 in search about them when they really needed their own website and that they can control. And a lot of people make that mistake. They say, go to Yelp. Then they don't like when someone puts something on Yelp. But if you have a company, you have no business using Yelp. It really shouldn't be on Yelp. I don't care. There's no law that says you have to be on Yelp. You shouldn't be using Yelp as your website. You should have everything under your control.
Right. Absolutely.
Period. Period. If somebody, and that way, if somebody puts you on Yelp, you can say, hey, look, I didn't authorize this, take it down. That's the best way to do it. At any rate,
every person, just your personal reputation, and every product sort of has to consider. It's almost like 1995 again. 2026 is kind of like 1995. It's sort of like year zero, if you will.
Yeah. It is. It is.
I posted. I'm pretty sure I posted. Every product has got to think of themselves as an early stage product. That's how every chief marketing officer should be thinking of. You really have to, when you're talking about getting your own website, I learned, a little bit about JSON code. I'm non-technical, but I learned about, so I'll get into that with you in a lot more detail in a few months' time. Sure. But you're absolutely
however,
right.
Is that
controlling your own.
What's changed the game is, first of all, I'm basically a child of Web 2.0. In fact, this universe refers to me as a Web 2.0 pioneer because I started sports business simulations in 2002, right at the heart of Web 2.0. And what is Web 2.0 anyway? It's the place where websites are interactive, where you can make them so that they have video inside them, and so that that you can write on them, which is blogs and everything else. That's Web 2.0. And so I started Oakland's first blog.
Brandon Jones.
One moment. Hey, let me call you right back, okay? Okay. And so at any rate, started Oakland's first.
All about authenticity these days.
Yeah. Oakland's, and anyway, I did all of that. But what's different, what wasn't around then, is if you put something on one platform, it wasn't automatically picked up anyplace else. Yeah, the search engines picked up how they perform and they rank them in terms of levels, okay? But now it's an entirely different game. Google has Google AI. Grok is on Twitter. You have a number of artificial intelligence engines that answer questions, Claude, ChatGPT, but in order to answer those questions accurately, they draw their information from wherever it happens to be on whatever website it is,
Yeah.
not its own. And that's
Right.
where the game has changed. So someone could put fake news on Facebook, like for example, was done last year where somebody posted that Trevor Lawrence's mother had cancer and died. She did not die of cancer. She's alive and well. So in order to straighten out that problem, I simply made 2 videos here, and then I made sure that Grok saw a version of it by tagging Grok, and made absolutely certain that these were connected together so that Google AI would pick up the new information. So it went from reporting this as a certainty to, there's some question as to the validity of this claim. And now it should simply say the claim is false. Okay. So that's where Zennie62Media comes in. We engineer or re-engineer web outcomes, search outcomes for you on a universal basis, as opposed to just making sure that somebody is responding to an attack. It could simply be that it's not just the attack itself, but also making sure you have. And the reason why we're good at it is because we have 113 websites. So a lot of search engine marketing and a lot of reputation management firms do not have their own publication systems. We do. So this is a natural extension of things that we were asked to do informally.
Yeah.
So yeah. So hey, I know we said we're going to make this short.
Yeah.
But
no, and to be continued.
To be continued, definitely.
2026 is moving really fast, as is Vrypac's place within it, and as is Zennie62.
Yep, you got it.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you for the opportunity.
You got it. Don't move your muscle, folks. We'll be back. I've got Brandon Jones on from Oakland in a little bit. Yeah, I told you how my